Good morning, Rick Price. Thanks so much for joining us.
Good morning, Anton. It's a pleasure to be with you, mate.
Thanks so much. Look, first of all, welcome home to Australia. It must be great to be back on home soil.
It certainly is. Always a pleasure when that plane lands in Sydney. It's a good feeling.
That's fantastic. Look, you're back in Australia for the Wayfaring Stranger Tour, which kicked off in Sydney last week. How's the tour gone so far?
Beautiful. We've had 3 shows and really enjoying the tour. It's just great to be back, playing live again and to connect with an audience. It's just nothing better in the world. So I'm having a really nice time.
That's fantastic. Well, next up on the tour is here in Victoria, of course.
Heading to Victoria. A couple of shows there in the city at Paris Cat Jazz Club and the Suki Lounge. I'm really looking forward to those shows.
That's fantastic. Look, and they're 2 great music venues.
They certainly are. I've never played the Suki Lounge before, so I'm really looking forward to that. Paris Cat is a venue that I play every year, and it's just wonderful. They're great people that run the venue, and we always have a wonderful audience there. So it's a great night. It's just a good room. It's a great vibe for music.
That's fantastic. And you're actually at the Paris Cat on Saturday the 14th, which is this Saturday. And
this coming Saturday, that's right.
That's right. And Sunday the 15th at the Suki Lounge in Belgrave.
That is correct. Yes.
Yeah, fantastic. Look, in addition to New South Wales and Victoria, the tour takes in the ACT, Queensland and Western Australia. You'll certainly be getting around a fair chunk of the country over the next couple of months.
Yes, we do like to sort of get around to most of Australia if we can.
Right.
So I'm really looking forward to that.
Fantastic. And what about the set list for the tour? In addition to songs from the new EP, I'm guessing you'll be treating the fans to all the big hits.
Yes, certainly. All the hits and some misses as well.
Right. There hasn't been too many of those, has there?
No, not too many. Yes, definitely. I like to connect with the audience and with their favourite songs that they come to hear.
Right.
And like you said, I'll be playing songs from the Wayfaring Stranger album, and also a handful of new songs as well, new songs that I'll be recording. Planning on recording next year for a new solo album.
Great, fantastic.
For a new original album, I should say.
Yeah, great, fantastic. Regarding Wayfaring Stranger, which was released recently to coincide with the tour, wow, what an incredible body of work. Congratulations, another great Rick Price record.
Well, thank you very much. Yeah, I dug into the archives of gospel music because it's really a genre that I love. And found songs, from the sort of 19th century songs, quite a lot of them. So, Wayfaring Stranger, Amazing Grace, Wade in the Water, Will the Circle Be Unbroken, Rock My Soul in the Bosom of Abraham. Just songs that have, been around literally for centuries.
Yeah, absolutely. So, look, and what was the inspiration? You just love the song so much you thought, I've just got to do an EP on that. Those songs, yeah.
It started with, during COVID, I would just pick up the guitar and blast out songs on YouTube or Facebook or, wherever, and just doing some performances of little snippets of songs. And I just started to, the thought came to my mind, what about some of these songs that you love? Wayfaring Stranger, Amazing Grace, Will the Circle Be Unbroken? And I just started to sit and I'd work up a little version of the song on the spot.
Right.
And just press record and do it.
Fantastic.
And beam it out. And my publisher said to me, that sounds like that could be an album. And I thought, yeah, absolutely. So that's how it was born, just by picking up the guitar and jamming, really.
That's fantastic. Look, I've got to say the list of talented people involved in the making of the record is really quite incredible. Can you tell us a little bit about some of the people involved in the making of the record?
Oh, yeah. It's one of the thrills of living in Nashville and Tennessee and having my studio set up there. I can call on some really incredible musicians, and that's what I did with this record. Joshua Hunt played drums, beautiful player. Dennis Crouch played bass. Now, these are all people that have played with legendary musicians and played on legendary records, over the years.
Right.
Willie Nelson, Dinah Crowell, just lots of wonderful people. Tom Bukovac on guitar, who is, just a genius of the guitar. It's hard to describe
Right.
this guy's ability. I mean, it makes you want to just you don't even feel like sitting next to him when he plays the guitar. You think, I don't even play guitar compared to this guy. My father had a saying. He'd say, "God, you can make that thing talk," and that's what Tom Bukovac did.
Right.
And then Jimmy Wallace, of course, on Hammond organ. He's also an amazing player. So these are people that, in the years that I've been living in Nashville, people that I've worked with, that I just really love. They understand the genre of music. And to my ears, it sounds pretty legit,
Yeah, no, fantastic.
And my job as a singer is to keep up with that marvelous band.
Right. Yeah, no, they're a fantastic lineup. Look, now, I love the whole EP, but if I had to make a choice, I'd have to say that the wonderful Rock My Soul in the Bosom of Abraham is my favourite track on the EP.
Awesome, man.
What a song. In addition to yourself, of course, there's some pretty amazing artists who have recorded versions of the song over the years. Now, look, I'll go through them. Elvis, Louis Armstrong, Lonnie Donegan, Peter, Paul and Mary, to name just a few. You're in pretty good company.
Yes, indeed. I loved Louis Armstrong's version. In fact, that's one of my favourite versions of the song. And so, my job was to just find my own place with the songs, and I did that by just performing the song by myself.
Right.
That's how I made this record. I started with just the performance of my own performance, kind of set a tempo that I liked, and just went for it. And then when I brought the band in, when you get players like that, of that standard, it's my principle, which I've adopted, is hire great people and try to stay out of their way when they're
Fantastic,
playing. Yeah, because, you don't want to micromanage great players like that, because you can really run them into the ground, and it's not a good thing to do. So I just try to book great people and as I say, stay out of their way.
Right.
And let them bring their own ideas to it, and that's exactly what I did. We made the record very fast, a couple of weeks, all done. So, it's just a thrill.
Fantastic. Look, if we can turn back the clock for a moment and talk about the really early days of Rick Price's music career for a moment, if that's okay.
Sure.
Yeah, he grew up in regional Queensland, Beaudesert to be precise, and I believe the first band you're in was a Price family band when you were just 9 years old. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yes, most definitely. We grew up in the country. It's a farming area, so they have a lot of little farming communities. They all have their own dance halls and community halls. These are like little old weatherboard buildings out in the middle of the bush, and they used to run barn dances at them. And we were all musicians from. I don't remember not being a musician, to be perfectly honest. I played something. Yeah, I think it started with knitting needles on my mother's saucepans in the kitchen. Drums were really my favourite.
Fantastic.
And yeah, that's how we started. On my father's side, they were all musicians, so that's how we learned.
Great.
Sitting around at Christmas parties, 4 or 5 years old, and someone would teach you a chord, or you'd sing a song or something. And they all had bands and things, so we just followed suit, the three of us kids. And that's how I started. And we would play every Friday and Saturday night at dance halls. And from age, I think I was 8 actually when I started with the band, that was my apprenticeship into music.
Right, fantastic. Look, now I think it's fair to say that your music career really kicked off in earnest when you moved to Sydney at age 18. Can you tell us a little bit about that period when you made the move to Sydney?
Yes, my sister gave me $500.
Right.
Now, at the end of, the late 70s, $500 was a lot of money.
Right.
And my parents had bought me a little Datsun. I threw everything I had in that little Datsun, and I took the $500 from my sister, and I said, I'll do my best to make good with it.
Right.
So I went to Sydney and slept on couches and just auditioned for bands until I got a place. I was playing bass and singing backgrounds. And I eventually got jobs with people like Marsha Hines and John English and Kerry Bedell, the wonderful jazz singer from Sydney. She took me under her wing and mentored me. I joined her band. She taught me so much about music and about singing and performance.
Right.
And from there, I eventually, I was a studio singer for many years, so I sang radio and television commercials. That's how I made my living.
Right.
And as well as touring on the road. But the studio work became so prevalent, that I was able to just stop touring as a sideman, and I was just singing radio and television commercials, and then I started to sing on people's records and arrange their background vocals and things like that. And then I eventually just started to write songs, and I moved out of that world and got my first record deal in 1989, I believe it was.
Right. Yeah, fantastic. And Not a Days Goes By was released. That was your first smash hit single.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then, of course, the hugely successful duo album, Heaven Knows.
Yes.
Yeah.
I was absolutely delighted. I handpicked the musicians from in America because I signed with Sony Records to a worldwide deal, which enabled me to record my first record in Los Angeles. So I picked my producer and my band, and we went to, I had a wonderful manager, Ralph Carr at the time, and, he was a driving force in my career,
right.
no doubt. I think without him, I may not have even gone into a solo career.
Right.
He really drove me and drove the whole project and made it happen. So I was fortunate. I just felt like I fell in a puddle of enormous good luck.
Right. Fantastic.
Because there I was in America with Michael Jackson's drummer, John Robinson, can you believe that? And all musicians of incredible caliber. And Chris Lord-Alge, who was at the helm, recording, mixing, and producing my record for me. It was just a dream come true. And the record, speaking objectively, even if you take me off the record, the band and the recording is so fantastic.
It's
it still
great.
Stands up as a great sounding record today.
Yeah, it's fantastic,
And,
absolutely.
I was just very fortunate.
That's great. Look, I need to ask you about the move to Nashville. You went there in 2009. You sound like you're pretty happy, pretty settled there. It must have been a pretty big decision to make the move.
It was. I was not signed to any record label at this point. I made 8 or 9 albums, and my friend Tommy Emmanuel called me and said, "Hey, why don't you come to America? Americans need to hear you."
Right.
And I said, "That sounds like a good idea. I'm not doing much. My son was fully grown and had started his own family. So I felt like I was in a position to just be a nomad for a while." So I went and lived in Nashville at Tommy's house and just fell in love with the place, and eventually bought a home there and set my studio up. And I, as well as making my own records, I produce records for other artists as well.
Right.
So, I get a lot of, it's a huge joy for me to do that as well. Moving to Nashville, I had made many trips there during the 80s and the 90s to write songs. So I was familiar with the place, and I knew people, and I knew what a powerful musical community it was. And I was at a stage in my life where I really needed a shot of inspiration, and it certainly did that.
That's great. Look, before we let you go, can I ask what your plans are post the current tour? Will it be time for a bit of a holiday, or will it more work?
Yes, I am having. I'm spending Christmas here with my family,
Right.
which will be beautiful, and then come January, I still have some. I'll return and do some more live dates in Australia,
Right.
and then back to Nashville to the studio. I've got a lot of projects to record, including my own new original album.
Great.
So lots to do, but yeah, I will be taking a little break over Christmas in Australia, which I'm really looking forward to.
Thanks so much, Rick, for joining us today. It's been an absolute pleasure.
Absolute pleasure talking to you as well, Anton. You have a great day, brother.
You too, and look, good luck with the tour. It's great to have you back in Australia.
Thanks so much. And just a quick reminder to people, for if they want to see if there is a show near them, please come to my website, rickprice.com. All the show information and dates and tickets are available right there.
That's great. Thanks so much. And of course, good luck with the Wayfaring Stranger. What a great record. We'll have to catch up again soon, mate. Thank you.